Thank you so much to everybody who is supporting me on Patreon. Your generosity and support is greatly appreciated. I love you all so much. If you like what I do and want to support me in a more personal way, then consider joining my Patreon page today. There will be a link at the top of the description.
And welcome back to another episode of Nerf Combos on the channel. My name is Luke Triton, and today this video is going to be covering the Elite 2.0 Turbine. Now, this is a very interesting blaster with a number of good and bad things going for it. If you are interested to see why that's the case, then be sure to look at my review video, link in the description. But this blaster does have some tactical potential. There are 4 tactical rails, one at the top, one at the bottom, and one on each side. It also has a barrel attachment point at the front, but there are a few issues and therefore some limitations when it comes to this video. First of all, as I pointed out in my review, the barrel attachment point on my blaster is wonky. It is warped, and almost all of the barrel attachments I have don't sit on this properly. They are very loose and therefore not worth trying to turn into a combo, which is a real shame because I've got loads of attachments and not being able to use most of them is a pain in the ass. The other thing I have a problem with is this bottom tactical rail. It's so small and it's so compact. Most of the attachments I want to put down here as well don't fit, because after the actual connector piece itself there's a bit more plastic of the actual attachment itself and it rubs up against this foregrip. So yeah, sadly this is going to be quite limiting, but I do have the original combos ready for you today. Normally I would have a gimmick combo, but sadly I'm going to have to pass that just because there's not as much tactical potential with this as I would hope to be. In terms of practicality with what I've been testing with, it's not really doable. But we have the 3 traditional classes, which is the heavy, the close quarters, the long range, and then my personal combo. First up is the heavy. This is a little bit underwhelming when you finally realise what's actually on here, but we have something. So just to quickly demonstrate how stupid my barrel attachment point is, with minimal effort, that is waving around, and that's just terrible. But it stays on there for as long as I want it to, for the sake of the video, it works. We have 2 shields. We have a large Super Soaker shield. I can't remember what the blaster was that this came with, but I do know it's Super Soaker, and it's actually really cool because it's see-through, it's an interesting shape. And we have another shield, the Stampede shield. Oh, look at that. That is not something you want coming towards you. 2 shields, spike tooth barrel, 50 darts drum, because of course we do. When it comes to a heavy roll, you want to be able to get as many rounds downrange as possible, so the largest magazine available is what you want to go with. I now have 2 of these 50 dart drums. We're going to use some of those. So, despite only having 2 shields and a spike tooth barrel, that is my heavy combo. The next combo on display is close quarters. This is actually quite funky, and there is a lot going on. All of the attachment points are being filled up. So let's start off with the barrel. This is a small barrel. This one in particular came with the Strife CQ10, I think it's called. But it's the small sort of Stealth Ops modular barrel, which is nice and simple. Doesn't really need to be much more than this in my opinion. And it's a barrel that actually can stay on. There's no extra point of contact for that little socket hole thing, whatever you want to call that down there. It's nice and sturdy, that stays on, which is pretty good. I have a small grip over here at the front on that bottom rail. It's actually something that fits on, and despite the extra distance, because the personal modification of the stock, it works quite well there. With other people they might be able to bring it in close, but even then having that grip there is quite nice, so there's no interruption when you go to put your hand there. With the drum, I'm going to have to turn it around. Since I'm talking about the drum, I am someone who prefers drums to stick magazines. I'm using a 25 dart magazine here, drum magazine here, because this is a fast firing automatic blaster. It is recommended by me at least to use larger magazines because it can spew those darts out fairly quickly. But if you need to reload, back on the other side we have the magazine holder with the included 18 darts stick magazine. These are some of the best magazines you can get. Even though I'm someone who prefers drums, I'd love to get some more of these because they are just so good. They're really thin, you can have more on your body, that's really cool. That's one side rail being used. Turning all the way back over to the other side, we have the torch. Nice and slim, putting that side rail to good use. And when it comes to low light situations, you can go around the room and you've got yourself a minor tactical advantage. Minor because the torch, isn't really the best. It's a toy, it kind of has to make sense. But if you have your own personal torch, you can make your own attachment for that, and some people have. Finally, we have the gold red dot sight from the Modulus line. This came as the... what's the name of the kit? It's been so long. It's a modular attachment kit, but you basically know what this is. It's a red dot sight. Who doesn't have one of these? All in all, when you got that all together, that is quite the something. Wow, look at that. That is my close quarters combo. And now the final of the three traditional classes, we have long range. Another fairly simple one, but I think this works quite well and it actually looks quite stunning. Then again, the stock modification kind of makes it look better anyways, but still, something worth trying. So at the front we have the Spectre barrel, because this is a very cool barrel and one of the few that actually behaves well with this blaster. We have the Centurion bipod, because this actually fits on that bottom rail. Oh my goodness, it works. Now when it comes to the magazine, I have gone with the included 18 dart stick magazine, again solely on the basis that whilst you can control the fire of this blaster to go semi-automatic, you can very quickly accidentally launch an extra dart or two sometimes, and to have more ready anyways I think is just better in my opinion. So this is basically our sniper. What's the scope we're going with? The modular day-night zoom scope. I love this attachment. Some people don't, and that's understandable because the quality of it isn't the best, but for what it represents and what it does, it's so cool. So this is a very interesting item because you can zoom in and out whilst this is activated. It has a green filter which basically acts as night vision. It actually does work. I've played around with this loads of times and it's so much fun. Once again, hopefully not kicking anything as I get this into my shoulder. It's so simple, but looking at that, oh, that is cool. This is my long range combo. And finally, we have my personal combo. So this is a bit cheating only on a personal level because everything that's included here is what I have on my personal combo for the Modulus regulator, which is my favorite blaster. All of course minus the stock. So at the front we have the chrono barrel, one of the coolest attachments ever. This is an ammo counter and a chronograph all in one package. It's very cheap. There's a tactical rail underneath there, so there's more included tactical potential. It's so cool. The torch makes a return to put one of those side rails to good use. I'm someone who rather has it on the outside instead of the inside, just because when you look at it this way, the Nerf logo is the right way up. Pardon me one sec. Clean up my eye. Goodness. The included optic is the Vortex Nitron scope. I actually quite like this scope a lot, so more and more whenever I use it. So if I quickly go down here, can you actually, if I turn it around, that'll be a little bit easier, don't you think, because it'll be closer. So pressing a button on the side, because it is battery operated. Look at that. Two options, we've got fast, slow, permanently on, and permanently off. And of course, my new favourite drum magazine, the 50 dart drum, is what I am using in this blaster. In the dedicated video where I talk about this drum magazine, I've talked about how it could have some potential feeding issues. Whilst this is a fast firing blaster, I haven't had any hiccups, any jams, or any feeding issues at all with this drum included. So I can actually go around and use this in a Nerf war knowing that this 50 dart drum mag is not going to jam. I've got an ammo counter as well, I've got a torch, I've got my favourite scope. I can go around just having a grand old time. This is my personal combo. And there we go, that is it for this video of Nerf combos. It's nice to be able to throw some attachments on a blaster again. Every now and then I'll get a blaster out and just have a play around, see which combos need updating. And there we go, that is it for this episode of Nerf Combos. It is so much fun to be able to get the attachments out and just decorate a blaster with loads of attachments. Sadly, this one wasn't the best because of how some of the quality issues kind of prevented me using some attachments. But nonetheless, it was so cool just to throw all the accessories together. It's nice to be able just to get a blaster as well. I got the box of blasters in front of me because I had to rearrange a few things. But just getting one of those out and just getting all the attachments and throwing them all together. How about this new combo? Can this combo still work? Oh, it's so much fun. The Nerf hobby is incredible, and all those accessories and attachments that come with it are just one of the few things that make it so much fun. I am someone that loves to collect attachments. Whilst I don't have all of them, I would love to have all of them. Just with what I've got already, There's so much fun to be had, and it's just amazing. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.